What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network as well as on the USA Network, as today we're talking Season 2, Episode 8 of Miz and Mrs. So, Season 2 actually was brought back, initially returned, on Monday of this past week, or this earlier last week. I forgot exactly when this video is going up, but it premiered after Raw this past Monday, last week, whatever. And then the next episode went up on Thursdays, which is when they're going to premiere from this point forward. So Thursdays, 10:30 Eastern time. It's really late, but it is what it is. That's when they're going to be going up on Thursday nights. These reviews are probably going to go up either, maybe not on the Friday, but maybe on Sunday or Saturday. So just a heads up for the future. But this was another good episode, a lot like the Season 2, Episode 7 return, which, again, like I said earlier, it didn't really feel like the show was brought back. It felt like it never left. It felt like the show was never supposed to end, and then they kind of had to for whatever reason. But either way, this episode is called Baby Moon or Bust. So the very first thing that we hear about in the episode is how Maurice wants to get away for a couple days. Now, they kind of get right into things. They kind of rush some stories here on the show because it's not as long as Total Bellas, which is an hour. So they kind of have to get through things quickly. And it's also a different vibe, too, because it's not as serious. It's more comedy, stuff like that. This is why I love the show. So Maurice is like, I need to get away for a couple days. There's way too much stuff going on around here. Mrs. Mom, Barbara's being annoying, always constantly cleaning. Marjo's annoying. They got the babies. They're not baby. Well, Maurice is pregnant. And then Miz, or they already have, their first child, but they also have the dogs. It's just really busy right now. So, meanwhile, another story here on the episode, and in addition to the whole baby moon thing, baby moon means they want to go off on a honeymoon, but just rather for the baby right before the baby's born. And right after their first baby was born, about a year ago at this point. So, meanwhile, another story here on the show is that Zack Ryder, who we see a lot of released WWE superstars here on the episode, which tells you how far back this thing was filmed. Probably over a year ago, I would imagine. I said this in the last review, but they made that one seem like it was filmed in September of 2019. So, maybe over a year ago. But the funny thing is that Zack Ryder is such a big part of this episode, and he hasn't been with the company since April. In fact, he's already competed for AEW. Brian Myers, a.k.a. Kurt Hawkins, is also here on this episode with Zack Ryder because they want Miz to do their action figure podcast. And Brian Myers is currently in Impact Wrestling. And speaking of Impact Wrestling, we see Eric Young backstage for a quick second. We hear from him for a quick second. He was a former Impact World Champion as of a couple of weeks ago. We see Carl Anderson, who's also currently in Impact. There's a lot of Impact stars here in the Miz and Mrs. episode, so I thought that was funny. But so Ryder wants to buy a $10,000 Kamala action figure because it has a star on the belly and not... Is it the star or the moon? I think they want the moon belly. Not the star. It's a moon belly variant is what it's called. So if you follow Zack Ryder, if you follow Matt Cardone and the Brian Myers Major Wrestling Figure podcast, you probably know they buy ridiculous action figures for ridiculous amounts of money. That's just what they do. Specifically Zack Ryder. The guy's a moron in that respect. At least in my opinion. I just think $10,000 for fucking action figures is ridiculous, but especially for one where if you buy the other version with the star on its belly, it's like $75, which is, again, ridiculously dumb. So Miz and Maurice are trying to watch a movie on the couch at their house. Marjo is constantly interrupting them with her fucking oxygen tank. I don't think there's anything wrong with her. I think she just uses it to help her breathe a little better. So they're like, all right, we got to get out of here. We got to go on our baby moon because this is just kind of getting out of hand. So Ryder gets the action figure, he tells Miz. But he wants Miz to go pick it up because the guy's in LA. It's out of a truck or something like that. It's like a action figures in a fucking truck or whatever. And Miz is like, you know what? I've been so busy lately with my own family and everything that I have to do work-wise that I never really give my friends enough time. I don't really devote enough time to my friends. So I feel like I'm going to do that here. I'm going to make it up to Ryder by going to get the action figure for him, which is what he does. So he finds the truck. He meets up with the guy in the back of the truck, really sketchy. And he finds out that his own action figure, his first ever action figure, was $10. Maurice's was $35, which is probably a shoot. Those old action figures, just because Miz's first action figure, just because it's the first one, doesn't mean it's going to be anything expensive. I could find that in a fucking Toys R Us bin, for $5. That doesn't really surprise me. The Maurice one for $35 seems a little high. I mean, how many people are collecting Maurice, but whatever. And the other Kamala is there too. So he buys the other Kamala. He picks up Ryder's Kamala, the $10,000 one, and he also gets his own action figure and Maurice's action figure. So when he brings them back to the house, he puts them on the table for 2 seconds. Barbara, constantly cleaning, puts them away. And he's like, where did they go? Where did they go? He's freaking out because this is a $10,000 action figure. She finds him, puts him back on the table. So Miz lies to them about the prices, and he never corrects himself. I thought, so he said, oh yeah, my action figure was 70. And he even tells the guy when he buys them, I'll give you 70 for mine. He's like, no, it's only 10. He's like, no, I'll give you 70. Because he doesn't want to pay $10 for his own action figure. So he gives the guy just 200, and he's like, keep the change, whatever. So when they get back to the house, he tells them that the Miz action figure was 70. The Kamala one was $10,000, but the Miz one was 70, and Maurice's was 30. That's what he tells them. And I thought Maurice would find out the actual prices by looking on the back of them and finding a price tag. That never happened. That was disappointing, but I thought that was funny, though. Again, why would he buy the other Kamala? That's just stupid. The one that had the star belly instead of the moon. I mean, come on, man. Why? It's obviously that I like this episode, but parts of it are just so ridiculous. Like, why would he buy the other Kamala, other than just to set up the storyline of it going missing, thinking that the wrong one got ruined? You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was a little stupid, but it made for a fun episode, though. So, Miz, they want to do a baby moon on site, so instead of leaving the house, he's like, listen, we got everything we need right here, we'll just go to the backyard, just hang out in the backyard, everything's going fine, until they realize Barbara was there the entire time, cleaning the fucking windows. They're like, alright, we gotta get out of here. So Miz freaks out when he goes back in the house and finds a Kamala arm on the ground, thinking it's, the baby's, one of the baby's toys or something. It's obviously a Kamala arm. But we come to find out we found out here via the video cameras that Marjo was holding the baby and she opened one of the action figures. Again, why would she do that? And then she moved him to the garage or something. But she gave the baby one of the Kamala action figures. The story is, we don't know which one it is. So Miz is like, didn't you tell your mom to not touch it? And she's like, yeah, of course. And then of course she didn't. She said it was pregnancy brain, so she didn't tell her mom to not touch it, which is exactly what happened. I mean, where else would it have gone, though? He asked his own mom, and his own mom didn't know where it was. He never asked Marjo. He just assumed, obviously Maurice talked to her, so she wouldn't have moved it. Why wouldn't he have talked to her? Who else would have moved the goddamn thing? There's only 4 people in the house, aside from the baby. I mean, come on. I just thought, again, that was really stupid. For them to be like, obviously Miz he can't ask anyone. And I thought he was going to buy another Kamala action figure, which he was looking at. He found one online for $25,000. And I thought he was going to buy it, and it was going to be like, I didn't actually have to buy it because I have this one right here. Which I thought, thank God that didn't happen. That would have been really, really dumb. So they go on a baby moon, they enjoy their time together, but they appreciate their moms, they miss their moms, wish they were there with them. So Miz, out of appreciation for his mom, gets her a scissor lift, I think is what it's called, to help her get the sides of the house and clean the windows, and she's absolutely loving it. And then while Marjo is right there, she's like, I know where your action figures are. And Miz is like, why didn't you tell me earlier? It's like, you didn't fucking ask. So Marjo leads Miz to where the action figures are and comes to find out that the $10,000 one is still intact. She only gave the baby the $75 one. That's the one that Pumpkin ate up, the dog. And that's why the arm was laying out on the ground. So everything is all solved. He's the happiest man ever. He gives Marjo a big hug. And then at the very end of the episode, we see Miz doing the podcast with Brian, with Ryder, with Matt, whatever, Cardona. So he brings out the Kamala action figure and he stomps on it. He gets all this heat. He's like, why the fuck would you do that? It was $10,000. And then it was only the fake one. So then he brings out the real one, which it's in a nice case. It looks really well done. And he does the podcast. People love it. Brian loves it. Matt loves it. And that's the end of the episode. So a good episode. Just some things that really didn't make any sense. And I realize that's what you're going to get with reality TV with this show. But some of these things are completely ridiculous. Like this, I thought was just stupid. Why the fuck would he buy the other Kamala action figure? Maybe I guess to do what he did at the end. But the whole, Marjo, why didn't you tell me where you knew where it was? Why didn't you tell me that you knew where it was? It's like, dude, you never fucking asked. I thought that was stupid. But otherwise, I thought it was a fun episode. This one was a bit more illogical than usual, but I thought it was good nonetheless. Check out all my other Miz and Mrs. reviews down below in the WWE Network and Chill playlist entitled Miz and Mrs. Reviews. Be sure to like this video, drop a comment, share the video, subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Hit that bell button as well to be notified for more daily videos, for more daily content. And yeah, these reviews should be up weekly every Sunday, Monday, Saturday, Friday, whatever. So keep an eye out for the Miz and Mrs. reviews every weekend. Have a great one, guys. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.